Hey, everybody, and welcome to Running Your Best Life. I am your host, Victor Vizcaino, and with me is my co host, Adele. And today we have a
Hey.
special guest. In this podcast, we try to bring you tools, tricks, and anything that might help you perform better and live a better life holistically. So, we're not into quick fixes. We want to get right into the things that are going to work for you in the long run. And today, our special guest is Crystal Billings. She is training for the Ironman 70.3 in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. She has an amazing story on how she got here, and also is going to tell us a lot about some of the things that she deals with. And I have the first question for her. First of all, let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Adele.
Hello, my good friend. It's so good to be here with the both of y'all. I can't wait to dive into some of Crystal's expertise. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Awesome. And hi, Crystal.
Hey, Victor. Hey, Adele. Good
Hey,
morning.
sweetheart. Good to see you.
You too.
So today is about real sustainable wellness, not temporarily motivation. And with that in mind, what is the biggest lie that wellness industry tells people about changing their bodies?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
You want to add it? Tell us what is one of the biggest lies that the wellness industry sometimes tell us, and give us your take and maybe a little bit of your story.
Are you talking about me, Victor?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, first of all, I will say that I don't like the word lie just because
Mm.
and I know that a lot of people use that terminology, but I love the term misconception.
Oh, I
So,
like that.
Yeah.
and I think that that's really important because one person's lie is another person's truth. And so when I say that with conviction and passion. What I would think would be the biggest misconception or the thing that people tell themselves about wellness is that everything should be consumed in moderation. I
Mm.
have been preaching that for many, many, many years. So I say that with a passion because for a lot of years I followed that advice. And with somebody like me who has a condition or a disease of the lymphatic system, that went undiagnosed for so long that everything in moderation is just really honestly an excuse to continue to consume things, especially when you know the truth about certain chemicals in your body that are harmful. And
Right.
a lot of
Mhm.
people say another thing that I want to say is that a lot of people say there are no good food and bad food. Another excuse.
Mm.
There are good foods and bad foods. There are healthier foods and unhealthier foods, but a lot of the quote unquote things that I consider bad foods are things that have chemicals in them that were never supposed to be designed for the human body. They are
Right.
things that in
Right.
excess cause cancer. And they're chemicals that can cause you to overconsume or overeat. So I would say, honestly, Victor, in my expertise and in my experience as well, the biggest misconception in the fitness industry is based basically around people saying things to generate money and commerce, right? If somebody says
Yeah.
everything in
Okay.
moderation, you're going to buy their product.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Oh, you can have this Adele in moderation. Well, if
Right.
I say
Right.
that I'm going to have this in moderation and it has a chemical in it that's going to A, promote fat storage, or B, cause me to continue to be hungry throughout the day, like artificial flavors, natural
Hmm.
flavors, sugar,
Right.
alcohols, that's going to derail my motivation. So, not everything in moderation. I want to make sure that I understand that certain chemicals and certain foods are going to act that way on my brain receptors. So that one is the biggest one. And then, like I
Okay.
said, the the other one that I was discussing, I think that that is a lie too about good and bad foods. There's definitely healthier foods and unhealthier foods, but I think it's lying to yourself if you're constantly eating
Hmm.
things that are unhealthy.
Yeah,
So,
that is so true. And can I follow up that with
yeah.
I am training and we're training for the Ironman 70.3. We started off as Crystal being my client. And Crystal, the question of everything in moderation, how does that play with our training? Because I've noticed that we've made some huge improvements, and I've noticed improvements in myself on some of the things that we've adopted. And it makes me think when you say everything in moderation. I believe we were in a spin class where somebody said something similar, and we started to analyze how does that play a role in our training and our improvement.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I totally agree too. Because when she said that, it was Jessie when we were at spin class. She made the same exact analogy that I just made too, and I've been preaching that for years. Um, with a few months ago, Adele, one of the things that we did was we changed our strategy because Ironman Coeur d'Alene is 4 months away, and Victor is wanting to
Right,
qualify for Boston.
right,
So
right,
we need to increase calories to support that training load to ensure that we're recovering properly and we're fueling appropriately. And in doing that, we also, Victor cut out alcohol. There's no moderation with alcohol. I supported him
right,
with that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that as well too.
right,
There's nothing
right.
really good about alcohol. That it's poison to the body. That's the truth. But
Yeah,
a lot of people like to enjoy that, quote unquote, in moderation. And I don't necessarily say that's a bad thing. You just need to make sure that you're not fooling yourself on what that alcohol is doing to you.
right, right,
And
right.
another thing that we did was we cut out poultry. Poultry is
Really? Okay.
yes, poultry is inflammatory. It can be inflammatory for a lot of people. So when I say that, poultry has a lot more omega-6s than omega-3s, and you have to really balance those. Omega-6s are inflammatory. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. And so what I have noticed in the past couple of months is that we eat a lot of seafood or like fish. That's where we get a lot of our protein, and then we supplement
Okay.
with essential amino acids. And the performance has gone through the roof. I know it has through me. Holy smoke.
Wow.
My running has
Wow.
improved dramatically. My swimming, I feel stronger. I feel leaner. One of the things that we are super strict about, or have been in the past couple of months, except for last week, we kind of had a little bit of added sugars, and we felt it. Did you feel that, Victor?
Yeah,
Sugars, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, we're
Yeah.
a
So
lot
I
more
mean,
sensitive to it.
what was
Right.
that?
We are a lot more sensitive to it when we have sugars, is that
Right.
we
Right.
certain negative effects, and
Right.
also has that you find it much sweeter than before.
Yeah. When you haven't had something for a while and you put it into your system, your body starts to crave it because that's what sugar does to you. It's an addictive type. I mean, sugar's not the craziest thing in the world. It's not the worst thing for you, but it can be an addiction. So you have to watch your sugar with all of us that are in training and endurance training. But the biggest thing that I find, it's like alcohol, which is based in sugar as well and chemicals and all that. Once you put it back in your system, your body starts to crave it because it likes the feel good sensation that it brings. So that's why it's not moderation, but controlled absorption would be another way to look at it. How much are
Well,
you
and
taking in? Yeah,
yeah, and you have to take into consideration sugar is actually good for our bodies when it's the right kinds of
right,
sugar, right?
right,
So it's the
right,
fructose,
right,
the fruits, or the natural sugars. That's actually our
right,
body thrives off of that as especially athletes, right? That's our
right.
endurance. But it's the added sugars that is the issue. So it causes gut inflammation, and if our bodies are reacting like that to
Mm-hmm.
adding in something, there's something wrong with the product. I mean, your
Right,
body doesn't act like
right,
that when you eat too much protein or broccoli. You know what I mean?
right,
So if
right,
it's giving an adverse side effect, your body will tell you the story, right? Your body's going to tell you the story on how it wants you to behave. So
right.
I think that sugars are good if they're natural. If they're
Mm-hmm.
artificial, they're chemicals. I mean, you got to be honest
Right.
with yourself.
Right. So let me piggyback a little bit on the things you said. One is the more natural. Natural, is that the same as organic? Which is one question I want you to kind of clarify because I know you've got the research behind it. But two, the natural produced things we eat, the natural foods, the natural plants, everything that's grown comes from the earth. Those are going to be our best sources of nutrition. Correct?
That is correct. Now, when we say natural and organic, that can be totally different than each other. So, when I
Okay.
say natural sugars, I'm talking about just fruits and generals in their whole form. I'm talking
Okay.
about that this fruit or it's not a chemical based like sucralose, aspartame, monk fruit,
Right.
stevia, these things that are
Right.
driven
Right.
down into a powdered form. So you can buy berries at the store, whether they're natural or they're organic. That's going to be a better choice than buying a
Mhm.
product that has those added sugars in it. So
Right. Right.
the best kinds of foods for us are whole grains. Yes, ma'am. It's better to buy organic if it's a fruit, if it has no shell around it. So,
Mhm.
for example, it's not as harmful or as critical to buy an orange or an avocado or something that has a skin around it that you peel off of it,
Right.
organic, or a lemon or a lime. Those have a
Right.
protective barrier against what we're actually consuming.
Right.
But if it's
Right.
berries, if it is a kiwi, if it's an apple, those are more important to buy organic than non-organic because it seeps into the actual fruit and it doesn't have that barrier. So
Yeah, and I love that point. I'll tell you why. I have an apple a day. I love my apples. They serve me well. And I apologize for interrupting, but it is key to know because of what can penetrate the skin. And if it's organic, it's protected a little bit better from any kind of pesticides and treatments and all that. Is that correct in your expertise training that they're protected more if it's listed by a producer as organic?
it is protected more. I mean,
Okay.
I do think that some organic farms use pesticides in their organic
Yeah.
processes. That's why you need to know
Okay.
which farm you're getting it from. You need to
Right.
know
Right.
the source in which your food is coming from because not all organic is created equal either. Um,
Right.
I,
Right.
I love to shop at natural grocers because I know where the farm is from. I like to get my fresh produce from a place called or not produce, but seafood from a local market here that I know that the farm is in Canada. So they get their
Okay.
fresh seafood in every couple of days. Um,
Right. Right.
versus
Right.
the farm raised or the other there's a lot of other places that you can get seafood from, but you haven't researched the actual place in which they facilitate the growing of
Right.
the fish or the seafood, and it can have a lot of chemicals in there as well too.
Right. I have a question, if you don't mind me asking a little bit about water processing. We all drink a lot of water in our training, and of course, we want to get our electrolytes and everything too. So I don't want to segue into the water issue, but I do want to ask you if it is something that you have monitored in your training, but also in recovering from the different medical history and the different things that affected your body. Just basic water is not basic water. You've got all kinds of things unless it's clean. What do you do in that respect, Crystal? What would you
You know,
suggest?
I love that you said that because so it's the type of water and the pH in the water that really
Mm-hmm.
is imperative, and especially for somebody like myself too, just in general. So if you drink water out of a plastic container, like you go to the store and you get like a 12 pack or a 24 pack of water, and that's what you're using as your consumption. That's plastic. You don't know from the time in which they bottled it to the heating
Mm-hmm.
conditions that it had. A lot of that plastic seeps into the water, and water in plastic is considered what they call an obesogen. What that means is
Right,
those
right.
plastic parts get stuck in your body. And for somebody like me who is prone to obesity, I do whatever I can not to drink out of those.
Okay.
It's funny that you said that because I purchased this product called Mountain Valley, which
Not,
has it's a glass bottle. And I
okay.
drink a significant amount of those per day, and the pH levels are perfect. So this water has calcium, magnesium, potassium, and the pH levels are perfect to keep your body alkaline, not too alkaline, not too
Okay.
acidic, just right at the
Right.
right pH level.
And that was going to be my next word of choice is alkaline. So when
Mhm.
you want to go to, if I want to go to Walmart and all my choices are going to be plastic bottles, but they're alkaline or whatever the brand might be, Smart Water, whatever. Mountain Valley is a product we used to use at my home growing up. We used to get it delivered in, the big 5-gallon containers because there was so many of us. We just would get our own. But Mountain Valley was always a really good product. Kentwood Water down here in the south is great. We get a lot of fresh seafoods. The key is you're also dealing with the other things that happen in the water through your filtering system that comes through if it's a city system or if you have a filtering system. I know there's different filtering systems like Kangen water systems, a whole bit. We've used that in our nutrition business. It cleans everything out and it gives you the healthiest water you can get. It not that everything's going to be perfect, but in that respect, the key points are pH, alkaline, and get rid of all the metals and other things that could possibly go through the system, correct?
That is my understanding. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, great. Because I'm looking for something for me intentionally here at my house. My daughter put a filtering system in. She's got a lot of gut issues she's got a baby who's 7 months old. But they put in an alkaline system that comes through her kitchen sink, and then the entire house is filtered to even the bath water, everything through the house is on a filtering system. The alkaline comes through the kitchen sink intentionally because, of course, that's where she's using it for to drink, to cook or whatever. So, yeah, I love that you made that uh, distinction for us. So thank you. So in the future, all of our listeners, make sure you pay attention to how many plastic bottles you're using.
Yeah, I think that is a big issue, the microplastics in our bodies. The other thing that I want to mention is that goes right in line with no short fixes and some of the things that the misconception of
Mhm.
moderation is measuring or tracking how much of, like you said, how much plastic are you using, how much water are you drinking, mm, and all of these things. But because there's a theory out there that says if you measure it, you can improve it. If you track it, you can improve it. Because a lot of times we also are fooled by how much water we think we're consuming until we
Right,
track it. We say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was drinking so little water,"
right,
because we're just going by thirst and
right.
things like that. So, yeah, I just want to mention that tracking has made a big difference in us because we're obviously tracking our training, but we're also with Crystal, we're tracking our macros, we're tracking um, our waters and our proteins and our um, all of nutrients, and that's made a huge difference and also made us a lot more aware of what is helping us and what is hurting us.
Mhm. So I had a question in regards to that because we're all built different. We're all very unique. We all have different histories. But one of the things that we wanted to kind of address too on this is how does the body react? The menopause, the metabolism, the hormones, your history with the lipedema, my history. I've got the gut issues, but I'm also a cancer survivor twice. With some of the suggestions that you've made already for us, Crystal and Victor, what would be one of the directions to go into if you have a very unique situation that you want to deal with? Say gut issues, cancer history. You don't want to put things that are going to be potentially cancer, encouraging cancer issues to develop again in your body, hormones, testosterone levels, all those things. The food we eat plays a big factor in how our bodies address our unique issues. Isn't that correct?
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Okay.
you had a lot of really good content there. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so much in such a, one sentence statement." So, all our body is when we eat foods, all our body knows is the hormonal response in which it's having to the food that we put
Mhm.
in our mouth, right?
Right,
So,
right.
when we eat, we're either going to heal part of our gut or we're going to harm part of our gut because when we eat, our body, is going to turn that food into lymphatic fluid. It's going to replenish the body with great nutrients. It's going to go to our gut. And there's what's called microbiome in that gut. And it's either going to multiply the bad gut bacteria or the good gut bacteria. And that's all hormones, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
if you are, if your hormones are unbalanced, I would say, connect with a certified nutritional health coach or connect with a nutritionist and really sit down with them and make sure that they're listening to you about your diagnosis because I can't just say one size fits all
Right,
because it doesn't.
right.
So you need to understand that a lot of people follow, social media influencers or podcasters or YouTubers that are giving fantastic advice, but that's not the advice for them. It's the advice that's individualized. Maybe it's
Right,
based on
right.
their experience or their own education. But when you are able to sit down with somebody, a coach that understands all of it, they can pinpoint your unique microbiome and create you a program that might help you balance your gut bacteria and get to the goals that you want.
And I think that's a great point because when we're athletes and we're going into a training situation like you did, finding Victor to coach you to achieve your goal of an Ironman, you're going specifically for a reason. Your body's
Mhm.
doing the same thing. It's reacting to something that we want to do. So we want a goal to be healthy, to do the things we want to do, and also build on our longevity, right? Same concept as wanting to train for a marathon or an Ironman. What can I do to get to that goal? What can I do to take care of my body to live a long and healthy and happy life? It's same concept, y'all. If you're an athlete and that's your goal, great. If you're just trying to find some good health purposes and direction, same concept. So look at it that way. It's a great perspective to try to use. Victor, I know we talked a little bit about our habits and how we develop our habits to eat healthy, get our rest, use a training program that allows us to build as well as recover. My question is, what would be the biggest thing? Is it a discipline factor or following the motivation we have to achieve our goal that keeps our habits strong and directed? What would you think about that? I know Crystal has some ideas on that as well.
Yes, and I believe that it doesn't have to be either one. It's a combination of both.
Okay,
But
good.
not to rely completely on discipline, although discipline does play a big role. But if we can do little things that help us not rely on our willpower, such as having a coach, having a accountability partners.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Crystal and I working together, I take care of a lot of the fitness, although she is pretty well educated on fitness as well. But she is definitely an expert on nutrition. I follow a lot of the things that she says. So between the both of us, we makes it just much easier to
Right,
go
right,
shopping, much
right.
easier to say no to alcohol because I know that I have a partner that's looking out for me and she's supporting me by not drinking herself. So you can see how these things make it so much easier. So yeah, in answer to your question, I would say that make it easy by having a partner. Yeah, it does take discipline, and but not a lot of discipline. Just the
Mm,
discipline enough to be aware of what you really want. Because what I really want is to improve my health.
right.
So have you have that clear, then you just set yourself up to win little easier. We go to spin classes that are scheduled.
Mm,
We don't have to make the decision, oh, where are we going to go today? How are we going to do the workout? It's just
right,
like
right.
get up, put your clothes on, get to that class at 5 in the morning, and everything else is automatically taken care
Mm,
of. And that's what I mean by making it easier. And then you have those goals. I want to get Crystal to the Ironman. I want to get myself to qualify for Boston. So we use those for motivation because it's the prize, it's the
right,
sort of
right.
the graduation that if you put this work and if you stick to the process, you're going to enjoy. That's going to be like the party, like the graduation party where you get to the race and you enjoy it. It's not a suffer and sort of dying. That's what we're looking for. So, and that kind of keeps you motivated to read the right,
Right.
to do the right things, and that even after the race, you are going to continue that lifestyle of movement and nutrition and everything else in life that kind of makes it a holistic wellness and contributes to your overall happiness.
Well, and I think what falls in line with that, I mean, we just finished watching the Winter Olympics, right? And these people are just so dedicated, disciplined, sacrifice, like we all do within our own little realm of perspective, right? What we're achieving is on the same line as our Olympic athletes, whether or not they want a gold medal, silver medal, bronze, or any medal at all. Their focus and clarity and direction is very similar to what we're doing in our lifestyles because we have a goal, an Ironman goal a marathon goal, a fitness goal of any kind, a longevity goal. So, y'all, if you can look at that and get these ideas on nutrition and rest and recovery, just remember it's your unique goal, life, and longevity that you want. It doesn't have to be mine or Victor's or Crystal's. We're giving you some tools and some information to use to get there. And I'll be very honest with you, I was so inspired by so many of our winners and losers and team members of our incredible country. But the beauty of it is that they all had one major focus. I want to be the best I can be in the best venue at the best opportunity. And as you always know, the hockey team won, but they go back to what Herb Brooks said, great opportunities, great moments create great opportunities. Y'all take each moment that you have and the information we can provide and make that opportunity work for you. So again, yeah, a little sideline on that, but a little motivation for us all to do the things we need to do nutritionally and health and fitness and training. Victor, I didn't know if there was another direction you wanted to go in with Crystal, because we have so much that she can offer us today. But I know she's got a lot of motivation in the way she trains, in the way she prepares things, in the way she works with her clients herself, both on the nutrition and on the marketing. Did you want to have Crystal tell us a little bit about where her main focuses are right now, lifestyle as well as Ironman training?
Yes, yes, I'd love for her to share a little bit of her story and where what excites her, and what can some of the listeners really gain from
Mm-hmm.
some of the things that you're doing, Crystal. Why don't you share with us?
Oh my gosh, my story. It's funny because my story is so multifaceted. So when I was younger, I grew up in the uh, late 70s, early 80s. And so that was, back in the day where obesity wasn't as common as it is today. I think that
Mm,
common knowledge now that our society, especially in America, is very overweight for the majority of the population. And the reason that is because we started eating a lot more processed foods and stopped moving as much with the birth of the internet. So
right.
I when I was younger, I started very young trying to figure out nutrition. What am I supposed to eat? What tell me? My mom didn't know. She was feeding us the standard American diet: hot dogs, top ramen, just cereal. I didn't understand why some people were the same size that other people were, but here I was eating the same foods, but I was gaining weight. So unbeknownst to me, 30 years later, I was diagnosed with a loose connective tissue disorder called lipedema, and lymphedema, which is a fat disease. So throughout my life, I had gained and lost the same exact weight over and over and over again, following advice by the
Yeah.
nutritional industry, following advice from people that were supposedly the experts. And I always wanted to be an athlete. The disease left my limbs very, very heavy. My
Mhm.
legs were 60 pounds apiece, my arms were 30 pounds. And so after my diagnosis, I got to work, and it's not like I hadn't worked before. I had been a very hard worker. I have several college degrees. I always wanted to be the best at what I was doing. I just didn't have the answers, and I was in not the correct environment. When I say environment, I mean I'm listening to all these people that have good, foundations for the information which they're giving, but it's not the truth and the whole truth, but nothing but the truth. So help me God, kind of situation, right?
I got you on that one, girl.
Yes, yes. So, kind of piggybacking off of the conversation on habits. Habits are, if you take the word habit, it's just things that you habitually do.
Mhm.
Habitual.
Mhm.
What are you habitually doing throughout your life? And kind of looking at those habits, if you want to change them, into recognizing what it is and why you do those certain things, and then changing those. So, like, what's important to me is, and has always been important to me, even when I was over 300 pounds, which is movement, which is fitness,
Right.
and nutrition.
Yeah.
So today I am very dialed into nutrition. I'm very dialed into movement. I have 3 businesses. The very first thing that I do, I have my schedule planned out 6 weeks in advance. And people are always like, "You're so busy all the time." And I'm like, "No, actually, that is my homeostasis. That is the place of my body that I feel comfortable." And why is that? It's because I put down my workouts first. Why am I going to get up every morning and not commit to myself and commit to everybody
Right,
else first? So when
right,
I wake up
right,
in the morning, I know what I'm going to do and I have that scheduled out because our bodies, when you think about like a child, from the time that we're born, we want boundaries. Children need boundaries. They have habits. Your mom wakes up, she gets you out of bed, she feeds you, she changes your diapers. We are creating habits from the time that we are born. And so those habits, you can be phenomenal at every single thing that you do, right? That you want to be phenomenal at. And so my habits have been consistently to schedule myself first. Number one, I was a
yeah,
single mom of a small child. My son is almost 21. He'll be 21 next month. But I was a single mom for years. If I didn't have my consistency and my habits dialed into my time management, I would have never survived. I
right,
just would have never
right,
survived.
right,
And
right,
if we
right,
don't schedule ourselves first, we allow the world to suck in our energy. And then all of a sudden, we are completely depleted because we're
right,
giving the world the energy first. So,
right,
my right now I'm focused on Ironman training. Um, and Victor can attest to this. Ever since we even started working together over a year ago, I always asked him, "You need to please tell me what my workouts are. I need to know what my workouts are for 6 weeks in advance. I'm going to need you as a coach to give me that information so I can allow enough time for when I physically schedule myself, the areas in which I need to be, because I need
mm,
to go to yoga. I need to calm my mind. I need to go to my workouts. I need to be physically at my salon certain hours of the day to manage my budgets. I need to be
right,
at my consulting agency. And I don't work more than 40 hours a week, but I also don't consider my work because I really truly do
right,
enjoy what I do.
right,
Um,
right, right.
so I guess the original question is where am I focused at right now? I'm focused on um, feeling the best that I can feel every time I wake up in the morning.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier in the early part of our conversation, you're feeling energy, you're feeling a leanness because you've intentionally followed a consistent plan of what you want to do, not just the coaching plan for Ironman, but that's given you a direction. But what you've done is use all of your expertise and knowledge that you acquired on your own, and put it into this new challenge that you've given yourself. Y'all, that is a directive that we all want in our lives. We just want something to have our line drawn. Where do we want to go? And it could be as simple as a brand new baby in the house. I just want to get an hour to go to the restroom alone, take a shower, maybe rest while the baby's resting. Sometimes that's the biggest goal we have as a new parent. But as we get to where we are now, 40, 50, and 60 decades, and experiences and knowledge and responsibilities now that have grown and then diminished, but then we've given ourselves other ones, it's a directive that we want. And if you just keep in mind that one very simple directive is to be the best you can be, health wise, spiritual, what do you want? Use the tools that we've given you today and the directions that we've given you, but get that body where it feels good so that the energy that you give away just is phenomenal. It's phenomenal and people see it and then they're drawn to you and they want to know where you're getting. Are you taking drugs? What are you drinking? The air is my drug. Good nutrition is my drug. Just the energy of living another day is my drug, right?
That's
And take that and use those consistent habits that Crystal and Victor and I have suggested to y'all. Use that good nutrition and make it happen for y'all. It's
right.
one day, one little goal at a time. Remember, it doesn't have to be this big, lofty goal to run an Ironman event. It could be as simple as I'm going to get through this day because I'm going to get to my grandson's track meet. I'm going to get to my workout first early this morning. I'll adjust it accordingly, take my shower, meet with good friends, do the work I have set up, But I'm going to get to that track meet because ultimately I want to be there to support my grandson. So that gives you another outlet to be
Abs-
disciplined, consistent, and follow your direction.
Amen. So before I close, because I have a mastermind to go,
Ah,
uh,
yes.
one quick question. First, you, Adele, what is a race that you're getting ready for, and why are you excited about it?
I've got a month and a half left before the Crescent City Classic on April 4th. I've run this race. This will be my 45th year running this race. It's always the day before Easter in my city of New Orleans. It's my race. I don't think they can have it without me, honestly. But I'm intentionally training like I used to when I was running competitively. But I use the run walk method now, and I say but intentionally because I'm not running. My body doesn't take that much abuse anymore and that much impact because of everything else I do. The run walk method is getting me to my goal, so it's perfect. That's where I'm looking for. And then I have some half marathons coming up in the fall.
Good for you. Congratulations. We can't wait to hear how you do and how you're doing for that. How about you, Crystal? What is your next race and what
Oh
excites
yeah.
you about that one?
Oh my goodness. So Arizona is next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but
Mhm.
next weekend. It's trail run. It's in the Antelope
Ooh,
Canyon.
Yeah.
And so I love traveling. I'm excited to go. It's a half marathon, and I'm looking forward to the scenery of
right,
it. The scenery.
right.
I'm a huge lover of God's nature, so that's my next big adventure.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear about it and how you do and what you enjoyed. What are your favorite things that you guys enjoyed in the races? And with that in mind, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me in this podcast. I hope that our audience got some really good tips. And if they have any questions, I want to remind you that
Mm,
you can go to the
yes.
show notes and I'll have the contact for Crystal, for myself, and for Adele on the bottom. If you need to contact them for any questions, let us know. And if you have any opinions on it, you're welcome to comment on the page.
Yeah.
Hey
And
guys,
any questions or any topics that you'd like us to address, especially based on some of the information today, put that in there. Victor will pick it up and he'll contact us and we'll see how we can address it.
absolutely. Run your best life. Thank you.
We will. See y'all. Bye, my friends. I love y'all. Bye.